so many people are not the driver in their life. They are the passenger of their life. They watch life just pass them by. And today we're going to talk about how that mindset is what's costing you major success, a lot of money, and causing you a lot of struggle unnecessarily in your business. And I'm going to share with you how taking a perspective of the possibilities in life and the possibilities in your business, instead of focusing and fighting so hard for your circumstances, is what's going to transform you into the business owner that you want to be. So I wanted to share a story with you about how this mindset transformed my business and how I didn't even know it was a mindset I had, a limiting belief mindset I had, until it got called out in a group or a forum by my mentor, who I've talked about in the past, but I'm not going to bring up his name today. So let me tell you about my business last year. My business last year was, I had just had the baby, I was getting ready, I was full-time into the Lashpreneur, and I was ready and raring to go. I had had a group business coaching program, now called the Lashpreneur Society, for about 9-10 months at that point, and it was the vein of my existence. I hated that program so much because no matter what I did, what I tried, it was just not growing the way that I thought it would and the way that I thought it should, because I knew how valuable the information was. But I thought, okay, we'll give it another few months. I was literally talking to my assistant saying, we're going to do 4 more months of this. And if it's not profitable by then we're just going to cut the program and move on to something else, because it was costing me more money than it was actually making me. And I couldn't get the membership to grow, and I couldn't get more people in, and I was just doing it all the wrong ways. So it was a big, huge headache. So for those of you that have heard of the Lashpreneur Society, it was on the chopping block last year. It was ready to go. So I had stumbled across this mentor. I saw him speak at a marketing conference, and he teaches online entrepreneurs how to run online businesses, and just fell in love with his teaching style, his personality, how he taught, the way that he approached things, and I became obsessed with everything he did. Well, he has a very, very pricey program that I knew I wanted to join as soon as it was available again, and I knew I had probably 4 months from about this time last year, it was 4 or 5 months, where I could save up for that program because it was way out of my price range. I had never invested that much. I mean, it was probably more than an entire year of college. But I thought, this is the program that's going to help change my life. Like, I'm all for it. I'm going to dive all in. I'll figure out a way to make it work. So about a month or 2 after I decided that I was going to take his program, he started marketing his buddy's program. He was an affiliate for it that had to do with memberships. And it was all about creating memberships and how to do it right and how to make them successful. Well, this piqued my interest, because he was promoting it. And I was like, well, if he says it's good, like, I know it's good because I trust his opinion on everything. And it had to do with memberships. And I had a floundering membership. And I was like, oh, there's an actual course on how to do memberships. So I didn't know the cost of that program at the time. I knew it would be in the thousands, just because that's how this caliber of people roll. That's the price of their courses. It's just thousands and thousands of dollars. But I thought, I'll just go through the free experience. I'll get to talk with my mentor a little bit and just talk about memberships and just be kind of in this community of a free experience before they actually sell the program. And so I was going through it, and everything that I learned inside of this free experience, I was like, well, that's all the stuff I'm doing wrong with my membership. This would be a great program for me to invest in. But I ended up posting it to my mentor saying, you know what, I have money saved away. I'm still working on saving for your program. Do you recommend that I go with this other program first, because I do have a membership that's floundering that I'm thinking I'm going to close? Or do you recommend I save for your membership or your course when that becomes available, because I know that's coming up? Full on thinking he was like, oh, don't worry about it. Don't do the membership. Just do my course, taking the easy apple or the easy carrot that I was offering him. That's not what he said. In true mentor form, he asked, you're operating from your circumstances and not your possibilities. How do you create from your possibilities? Now, this guy's known to be a little bit of woo-woo, right? Like, he's really into this whole high vibrational kind of, I guess woo is the best word I have for it. And this question stumped me. I had no idea what he was saying. I was like, what do you mean I'm operating from circumstances and not how do I create from possibilities? What does that even mean? So after a few days and a couple of back and forth questions, I was really trying to understand what he meant, because I know he doesn't say things just to say things. I knew he was really trying to get to the root of something here and help me with my mindset. And what I took away from that question, how do you create from your possibilities? He wasn't telling me whatever the answer was. He wasn't giving me an answer like, no, take this course, or no, take this course. He was saying, what is the possibility if you took both courses? Now, he wasn't trying to get me to buy both courses. He didn't tell me, look into both courses, but he had me start looking at what would my life, my business look like if I did one course? And then would I be able to afford the second course? Even if I couldn't afford it, could I find a way to afford it? What if I don't know how to afford it now, but through the process of me looking at the possibilities, I found opportunities to be able to afford both courses? Because this was $5,000 worth of courses, $6,000 worth of courses at the time. That's not money I had, guys. I promise you that. So I'm looking at it. I'm talking with my husband about, hey, we've got some courses that I think would be really transformational. Here's how much I want to spend. He laughed and he was like, how am I supposed to even respond to that? We don't have that kind of money. And I said, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to invest in the first course, and I'm going to find a way to make that course pay for the second course. I don't know how. I don't know what's in this program yet. I don't know what I'm going to learn from him that's going to be able to help me do that, but I'm committed to figuring it out. So I started living by the possibilities of what could be by investing in that first program, knowing I was still going to buy that second program. I was just going to have to figure out a way to do that. When had James, my mentor, okay, spoiler alert, his name's James Wedmore. I'm obsessed with him. Hi, James, if you're watching. He challenged me to look at what could be, not what was at the time, which was, I don't have enough money. I'm shutting down this program. Here's a Hail Mary of investing in one program, but I really want to do this other program. Why do I have to be limited to just doing one or neither because I can't afford it at that time? But guess what happened? I learned how to run a membership. I learned how to market it. I learned how to launch it. So while I didn't have the exact dollar amount I needed to purchase the course that I wanted to originally, they did offer a payment plan. So I had more than enough money to afford the first month's payment. And the week after I signed up for that second course, we did over 291 new members into our membership when we had been stuck at 60 or 70. So not only did the first course on memberships not only pay for itself with what I learned from it, but it also paid for the rest of my membership, or the rest of the purchase of the other course, because I chose to look at the possibilities. Now, the Lashpreneur Society is our main revenue driver. It is our main focus in our business. It is my heart and my soul and my baby of my business. It is what I am trying to create so much content around, and what I'm trying to invest my time in, because I know how valuable it is. We found the right way to do it to impact the most amount of lives. It has transformed even the industry, even an industry that doesn't have this kind of coaching inside of it. That's something that I couldn't even think was possible a year ago. And yet that one question, how can you create from your possibilities? How can I live for my possibilities? It transformed my life and my business. I will forever be indebted to those two men that have that course, those two courses, because of how transformative it has been. Not only did I do really, really well for my business, I actually did really, really well for the program on memberships that I'm actually going to be featured on his podcast coming up in a couple of months, because we've done so well with the membership, and because we're investing in that program so much, and we're serving a community that has such a need for this. Guys, I couldn't have imagined this a year ago. I wanted to get rid of that program completely. So how does this relate to you in fighting for your limitations versus fighting for the possibilities of what could be? When you fight for limitations, you are letting your circumstances, not enough time, not enough money, external influences dictate what happens in your life. Therefore, you're a passenger in your life just watching it go by. How are you ever going to be successful if you are just letting external circumstances control and dictate what happens to you, rather than being the cause of your life, where you are in the driver's seat, you are taking control, you are making the necessary steps to get to the point in your life or in your business that you want to be at. So one example, like I mentioned, that you may have said about your business or something in your life is, I don't have enough time. I hear that all the time. I would be consistent on social media, except I don't have enough time. I would, for the Lashpreneur Society members, I've had a lot of people sign up and they said, I just didn't have enough time to go through the program. Is that my fault? No, I mean, you're welcome to go. Okay, great. But how's that working for you? You joined because you wanted to have a better business. You wanted to become a better business owner, yet you didn't make the time to make that happen. The information was right there. It was one click away. You were already in, you were already paying for it. Yet you didn't carve out the time because it wasn't that important to you. Let's be honest. If you're not making some time for something, it's because you're devoting time to other things and your priorities are elsewhere. So let's have a real conversation then about where your priorities are at. If you join a program, if you take a course, if you take a training, and you don't have the time to get good at it, or you don't have the time to learn and implement what it is that you're supposed to be learning, well, it's because your time is spent elsewhere. Is it watching Housewives? Is it catching up on, Bird Box or whatever the latest Netflix is? Or is it time spent investing in the things that are going to get you where you want to be? But no. Your circumstances are dictating your life. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough time. No, it's that your time is spent elsewhere. And some priorities are okay to take you off of other things. Like if your family gets sick, a family member gets sick, and that's where your focus is and not on your business, that's okay. We're always being pulled in a bunch of different directions. But you have control over where your focus, your time, and your energy is spent. So don't keep fighting for this limitation of, I don't have enough time. You have as much time as me, as the next person, as Beyonce. Yep, that's right. You and Beyonce have the same amount of hours in a day. You and Richard Branson have the same amount of hours in the day. You and Cardi B have the same amount of hours in the day. There's no reason why you can't have the level of success that you want. Don't give me time as a reason why you don't have the life that you want. Or money. Money is the same thing. Guess what? You're a business owner. You can create money on demand. And I've talked about this in many episodes. You could offer $50 for a full set and go hand out cards on the corner to try and get one person to come in. And boom, there's $50 in your hand. You can create money on demand. You can create money whenever you need to. A lot of you are like, no, if that was the case, Tara, I'd create $100,000 and poof, I wouldn't have to work again. You have to work for it, yes. But don't give me this, I don't have enough money, because I didn't have enough money last year. But holding on to that limitation would have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Seriously, if I had held on to the fact that I didn't have enough money to afford both courses, I wouldn't be at the level I'm at today. We're projected to do a lot of money this year. And I'm not afraid of it. And I'm not holding back, because it's a big deal, because I never thought this was possible for me. I never thought the business that I have today was something that I would ever be able to live, because I love it so much. And it fulfills every aspect of me, and I make good money doing it. So don't you dare fight for your limitations or your circumstances, because this world needs more of you and the possibilities of what you could be if you just let go of the circumstances that you think are holding you back, and that victim mentality that you're so married to. Whew. Okay, moving on. Whew. What's the worst that could happen? Let's just go down that path. Ask yourself that. If you're fighting for circumstances, time, money, resources, whatever it is that's holding you back from doing something that you really want to do or that can transform your life, what is the worst that could happen if you just went for it? For me, last year, investing in those programs, it could be like, well, that could put me out of business. Okay, it was an extreme example. I don't think investing in programs that are teaching me how to grow a business would have ever put me out of business, because those just weren't the type of programs. But let's say it was a lash training that you really wanted to take, and it cost you your very last penny. Okay, if it puts you out of business, maybe it's not the best decision. Maybe you need to save for it. Maybe you can't have it right now, but maybe you can be wise in investing for it. Or maybe you can figure out a way to start charging higher prices so that you can afford it, or so that it does pay for itself. If you're taking an amazing course where you're learning advanced artistry, then how are you going to start marketing it so it pays for itself and you get a return on that investment and you start making more money? The whole point of taking trainings is so that it advances and furthers your ability to make more money. That's what they should be. If your skill set's not where you want to be and you go to this class and your skill set's where you want to be, then you should start charging more for it. So if you're not able to charge more, then why is that? Is that because you don't think you're worth it? Is that a circumstance you're holding on to? Is that a limiting belief that you're holding on to? Is that a fact about your marketplace? Oh, my marketplace just can't afford high prices. Well, Anybody charging higher than you? Because if anybody's charging higher than you, then there is a market that can afford that type of pricing. Okay, let's bring it back to the business. Real talk. How can you afford to do anything in your business or with your artistry without learning how to do it? If you thought being a lash artist business owner meant that you would just inherently, instinctively, you were just born with a know-how of running a business, I would like to meet you, because I've never met a single person that way. None of us know how to run a business until we learn how. Nobody, I don't know why everybody, they'll take lash course after lash course, right? Thinking, I just have to learn how to be a better artist. I just have to learn how to application. I just have to learn how to fan better. But they don't take the same approach to running a business. They just think running a business is easy. I can tell you, lashing is a hell of a lot easier than running a business. Can I get an amen for that? Lashing, so much easier. It's a skill that you can learn. It's just mechanical movements. There's no theory behind it. There's no testing, experimenting. There's a little bit of testing, experimenting, but business, totally conceptual, totally theory. What works for me in applying lashes it will work for you applying lashes too. You pick up, you isolate, you dip, you place. For business, if I did the same exact marketing thing for your business as I did for the business over here, it may not work the same. It may have different results. That's the challenge of business, is that it's not always cookie cutter business in a box. Here you go. There is some resourcefulness and some creativity in running a business where you apply what your marketplace does, or what your clients are used to, or who your ideal client is, or what makes you unique in the marketplace. That's individual and unique to you, but that's something that you have to learn how to utilize and maximize in order to have a successful business. So how do you plan on making a living as a lash artist and as a business owner if you can't figure out how to get people to come in and pay you? I don't know how you do that. Luck, Groupon, you got to be able to pay yourself. So running discounts forever and Groupons forever is going to keep you struggling so that you can't get ahead of the game. So how are you going to take responsibility for your life, your actions, and grow your business so that you can have this amazing life that you were dreaming about and salivating over? Are you just going to sit back and watch your life pass you by and thinking that it's everybody else's fault? Your market is saturated. You can't charge a high price point. Your clients won't pay high prices. Your skill is not good enough. You're not worth it. Those are all circumstances and limiting beliefs that you are holding on to that are costing you major, major success. I've coached some pretty high level lash artists and lash business owners. And the thing that I tell them that's kind of the hard talk, and I only do this for certain people when I know they can handle it, but real talk, is that when they struggle with, am I worth it? I just don't have the time, or I don't have the money, I tell them they're being selfish. They're being selfish because somebody else out there needs their help. Somebody else needs their work. Somebody else needs that connection with them and their artistry and the experience that they offer, whether it's self-care, pampering, they're going through a rough time, they need to feel beautiful, they need to feel confident about themselves. And because you can't get over yourself and put yourself out there to market yourself, you're in fact limiting the reach that you could have in impacting lives. Especially for those of you that are educators or you want to be educators, the world needs more of you. So why the heck are you holding back? Get over yourself. Start thinking about the other women that you can impact if you're having a self-worth issue, because we need you and your beauty and your experience and your eye and your talents and your skill set and your ability to teach in this industry. If running your own business has you burned out, frustrated, overwhelmed, or hustling with no results, please allow me to help you live through your possibilities by joining the Lashpreneur Society, my group business coaching program just for lash artists. Yes, the membership costs money. It costs $49 a month US. Now, if we're holding on to our circumstances, a lot of you may say, that's a lot of money. I can guarantee you it's not, compared to how much money this program is meant to create for you in your business and how much time it's going to save you and how much clarity you're going to get. But for those of you where $49 is a stretch, let's look at the possibilities of what could be by investing in this program. Instead of looking at what this program would cost you, what if you looked at it through what you could gain if you implemented what I teach in this program? I'm teaching you how to run a business that's profitable. Profit is money. Money goes into your pocket. So what would you need to do in order to get a return on that $49 a month? Let me break it down for you and clients, since that's what we talk about. $49 a month is likely, or it will be once you join, 1/5 fill client a month. Meaning if you get one new client at a full set price of say $100, that one new client, if that's the sole way that client came to you was from this membership and what you learned, that one client's already paid for 2 months. If she continues to come back every 2 to 3 weeks, she's more than paid for your membership. So is getting one new client a month to cover the cost of your membership really that expensive? Or do you think that's doable? What are the possibilities versus the circumstances? What about investing in this program would it save you? If what you learned through this program saved you from getting no-showed even just once, does it still seem that expensive? And what if it was possible that you could have the business of your dreams and cut your learning curve down on that by a few months or even a few years? And some of you on the path that you're on, you may never get there. So what is that costing you already? Wouldn't you pay anything to have the business of your dreams sooner rather than later, if not never? For me, it's truly important that I show up in this group coaching program and coach my little heart out. So we are only keeping the doors open to new members for a few days, and then we're shutting it down again for a few months so that I can be present and fully experience the group with you. So I would love to have you join me inside of the group coaching program, the Lashpreneur Society. You can sign up for the waitlist at thelashpreneur.com/society. If you have any questions about the membership, I highly encourage you to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or through our email, hi@thelashpreneur.com. I can answer any questions you have about the society. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a good one.